All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the Market Speculator with bullsonwallstreet.com. Today, we're going to talk about casino stocks, and I've got 7 of them here that I love. Casino stocks have been on fire for much of 2017. Everyone's been talking about big tech. Some of these casino stocks have even been leading the big tech stocks. If we look at something like Wynn here, just since March here, it's went from about the mid to low 90s all the way up to today, breaking the highs at 137. That's over a 40% move. So we're getting these huge explosive moves, and each one of these consolidations here has broke out and run to the next move, and that's what we're getting right now. So before we even look at the stocks, let's look at the sectors. And if we see here, I've got these sectors in TC2000 sorted by their 5-day percentage gains. You can see number 1, personal services, number 2, utilities, 3, electronic gaming, and then we've got number 4 here at gambling and number 5 here at resorts and casinos. And not a lot of people are talking about these sectors, but they have been on fire. And obviously casino and gambling is going to go together, and I've lumped these two areas together. We've basically got 5 casino stocks and 2 gambling specific stocks, and obviously these things will go together. So let's start with the casino stock. So we see here fantastic trends. It doesn't take much analysis to see that we've got a nice trend and we've got great volume pattern, and same goes for gambling here. Not quite the same trend. It's been a little more volatile, but we still have moved here, from 14,407 all the way to 16,465. So looking really good here. Now, when I see this, when I see a sector that I'm interested in, then I'm going to pull up and analyze the stocks here. We've got about 24 different casino stocks, and I think we've got about 13 different gambling stocks. Now, I've narrowed these down because there's no reason to watch 30 or 40 of these. I just pick the best ones and monitor those. So let's get started here. Number 1, the one we always watch as a representative of this space is Wynn. Wynn has been on fire since March, up 40%. We can pull this thing back to January and even higher. The thing has gone from the start of the year to 86 all the way to 137. So huge move, over a 50% move. Why are more people not talking about this? But huge move, and you can see every one of these breaks. You have this breakout, consolidation, break, big move. Consolidation, break, big move. And we're in that spot again. Consolidation, and today we're at highs. So we're watching Wynn very closely. The question here is, where do you enter? I think you could enter today. We need to see if this holds and it's not a fake breakout like on Friday. But if it holds here, you could enter right in this range in here. Put your stop a little in the range because sometimes they will pull back and test. So I would say enter at 136. Get your stop in around 133, somewhere in there, maybe 134, and see if you get that next big run, maybe to 150. We always see these magnets to round numbers. So Wynn, a really nice setup there. Then another one I like is LVS. A little bit of a different pattern in the sense that it's broke out very strong, and even though it's at highs, maybe we need this to consolidate or pull back a little bit. But definitely one I would watch. Tends to be volatile, has already had a move from 56 to 65. CZR, we went with the big ones, these first 2. Now let's go to more of a low floater, only 50 million on the float, and has a ton of short interest. So a lot of people don't like this stock. But what happens in a stock that people don't like, when it starts to move, these shorts start to cover and we get these big squeezes, and that's probably what happened in here when the big volume came in. So overall, fantastic volume pattern. We had a big run, pull back, big run, pulling back. Now I want to watch the way it handles the 9, and if it can break, you could either enter here at the 9 or wait for the high breakout. So CZS, really good setup here. Now the next one, that's number 3. Now let's go to number 4, Boyd. Another smaller stock, 81 million, got some short interest, not quite as much as CZR, but again, this thing can fly when it starts moving, and it's back up over the 9. So either entry here, good volume pattern, kind of play before the break, but I think if it breaks here, we could get the next big move. So very similar pattern here in void, and then pen. Pen here, consolidated for a really long time, not quite as volatile, but when it does move, again, it can move really strong. This one, I probably wouldn't play the pre-break because it can consolidate for a while, but if it does break that 22 high, maybe we get a move to 25. Probably like this one the least of the 5, but it's still there and available for a trade. Now, those were the actual casino stocks. Now we're going to go specifically to gambling plays, and we've got 3 of them. I wrote 7. We're going to add 1 more China stock. But we've got SGMS, CHDN, and WBAI. Let's take a look at SGMS. And if we look here, low float, 50 million. Got a lot of short interest in here. This thing could squeeze. Good volume pattern. Has made a move of about 20 to 26. Now we're going to see if we can make that next move. And the idea here is if it does break, maybe we get a squeeze. And because it hasn't been that volatile to the upside, I would wait for the break. So if it can get up to new highs, that's when I think people would start covering and we could get a squeeze, which is what happened here. So watch the volume pattern, watch the stocks move over these highs, and if it does that, we could get a really nice explosive move. And then CHDN, Churchill Downs, with horse racing season coming up here. We've had a break above 170, made a quick run to 180. This one, I would wait for a consolidation. If it can pull back and hold this key level, maybe that sets it up for a move to 200. There is some short interest, and this is a low floater. This is one of those where if it starts moving, it can really move. And then it consolidates for a while. Then it breaks and moves. And we've seen that over and over again right here in April. Big explosive move, consolidates forever, and then explosive move. So watch for these explosive moves. And then finally, now this is an ugly pattern. You're going to wonder why I put this on the list. Got hit really hard. WBAI is a China stock and hasn't done much since. But China itself is starting to wake up. And it's got a lot of room here to the upside. So if we see a catalyst, I wouldn't just jump in here and just take some kind of value play. But if we see a catalyst and it's moving with China, then I would consider it, and this could potentially be the biggest mover if that happens, even though the pattern is really ugly here, going back all the way to last year, post-election. So keep an eye out on here. Don't touch it unless you see a huge breakout with huge volume combined with China starting to pick up. So these are our gambling plays. It's not gambling to trade these if you've got really good patterns, and we're seeing that right now. So keep casinos on your list. We're still following big tech. We've been talking about it a lot, but there are other things we can play here, and casinos and gambling are one of the big ones. All right, guys, so we'll watch these this week. Remember, this trade report. I'm in 3 positions right now. We've had a really good couple of months here. If you want to join the swing report, go to bullsonwallstreet.com, go to the swing section, and there's some really good deals. So I'll see you guys next week with the free swing trade report.